Hey guys, what's going on? This is Tanner from TanmanBaseballFan.com. Happy Monday to you. Happy Monday evening to you now, I guess. I've been wrapped up with work and everything else, so I'm just now getting ready to open up a few packages I received in the mail. These are actually two of the most exciting packages that I've received in quite a while here, so I'm really pumped about these. Now, this first one, I'll go ahead and open up. And this is going to require a little bit of talking through as to tell people why this is such a big deal here. And I was actually just telling somebody on one of the forums, that the price of a card is not the exciting thing when you land something. It's the story behind it. And so these have a great backstory. And here they are. 1992 Ace Novelty cards. These are prototypes. Here is the regular American, and this is the Japanese version. And then here are the backs of them. You see now there's actually a front and back to each. So there's 4 different pieces right here. And let me give you a little bit of story about these here. This is pretty interesting here. I had never seen these before, and I'm kind of known as the king of the oddball cards as far as the Canseco stuff goes. I've got probably more than anybody else out there, and I've never seen these, never heard of them before. And I've heard of Ace Novelty, and if you haven't, here's a couple of things that they put out. They're the pins. Ace Novelty Company Inc. and have an MVP pin. It's got Canseco there, and then this one they added a 1990 scorecard. So people are used to these. They show up on eBay all the time. They're neat collectibles. It's not really something I go after all that much, to be honest with you. It's I'm more about the cards, and I love cards. And so when I saw these surface for the first time a couple months ago, I just kind of said, "What are these?" And so the cards had surfaced with other players as well. There was Ozzie Smith and Will Clark and Nolan Ryan and Ken Griffey Jr. There's still some up there right now for sale as well for crazy amounts of money. And so when these were up at first, number one, I said, what the heck is this? Number two, I go, this guy's crazy for asking the money that he's asking for him. So I did some research and I asked him if he was negotiable, and he said no, he wasn't really too terribly much negotiable. And I hemmed and hawed over these. I was kind of bummed that there's something out there that I wasn't comfortable with getting for the price that he wanted. I had talked to other Canseco collectors and other guys and asked if they had heard about these, and they said no, this is the first time that they had seen these as well. I spoke to some other player collectors, and they told me that some of the cards, like for Puckett and I guess Gwynn, maybe also Ripken, some of these other guys, Nolan Ryan, that these cards were highly sought after in completed format. So in other words, not just the front and the back, but total as a card, as a real card. And they've been highly sought after, and they're seldom seen, if ever. I mean, a couple of them have probably sold a decade ago for some of these guys. And like I said, I had never seen any of Canseco at all, period. I've checked other people's checklists and they just don't show up. So it turns out that the seller had picked up a fairly beat up sheet of these, uncut sheet of these, for pretty darn cheap on eBay. It's the kind of deal where you look at it and you're like, man, I wish that was me that got him. And so, like I said, after I balked at the pricing and I told some of the folks about it, and it was like, yeah, this guy's crazy for asking this. Well, guess what? Some of them were selling for a lot of money, so I was completely wrong about it. And so I had a pretty good feeling that Jose was going to sit for a while, though, because I know a lot of the collectors, and they don't seem to go for this sort of thing. So I decided to be patient, and I waited a couple months, and the 10% off eBay deal came in, and I had an Ebates deal as well. And so I asked them, I said, all right, it's been a couple months since they've been up. Will you please sell them to me for quite a big discount? And some of them, there are a few condition issues, which mainly on the back of this one. And it's okay because when it comes to one of a kind things like this, you really can't get too crazy about the condition. You can't get too sensitive about that sort of thing. It's like this. If you want this card, you take it or leave it kind of thing. So whether it's good condition, bad condition, whatever. So I took a look at some of these other cards that people had gotten, like the Ripken and Griffey that's for sale, and some other guys. And a lot of these cards are just really bent like crazy. And guess what? They're selling, because these player collectors, just like me, they know that sometimes when it comes to these really hard to find items, you either take it with condition issues or you leave it and you never see it again. So anyhow, I had done a little bit of research, and there's actually a very helpful person on one of the forums. His name is Mozzie22. So if you're watching this, Mozzie22, hi there, and thank you for all the information. He's actually been looking for information in these cards, also more cards like this, for years and years now, apparently. And he had told me that, as the story goes, basically, is that Ace was petitioning the Major League Baseball for a license. And so they were in the final stages of getting this license, and they said, okay, what we want to do is we are looking to not just produce cards for America, but also for Japan. And I believe there are a few other countries out there as well. So in the final stages, the MLB turned him down and said, nope, you can't do that. And they were ordered to destroy everything. Well, instead of destroying everything, one of the guys decided to take a sheet home or something like that, and some cards, I believe. I guess that's what the story was. And I'm a little foggy about all this, because obviously I wasn't there, and this happened, 20 plus years ago. 25 years ago, I guess. But anyhow, as the story goes, the guy gave some of the cards to some kids in his Little League team, for instance, and every now and then they would start showing up on eBay. And I guess several years ago, I mean, some of these guys have paid $200, $300, $400 for these cards, and that was for the front and back ones. And so to have something like this is special, because these are basically pre-production prototypes. I mean, it doesn't really get that much better. It doesn't get a whole lot better than this, but these cards were never even put together. They were, I don't even know if these actually exist in a full card format. If they do, I'm very interested in them, of course. But one of the things I might consider doing also is I might actually consider putting these together myself. I do a lot of custom cards, of course, so I'm very proficient at being able to put cards together like this to make this a real card front and back for both of these. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do that yet or not. I'll probably keep these as is for now and just be in love with the story and the cards that they are, and happy that I'm quite likely the only person on the planet with these Canseco cards. So that's a cool feeling also. So anyways, that's enough of me blabbering about this. I went on for about 8.5 minutes. Sorry about that, guys. Now this one here, this right here is a brick of cards that I have been waiting for since they were probably sent out, I guess, probably on Wednesday from where I got them from. So I got this from another fellow super collector. His name is Aaron. We had been going back and forth on a deal. He wanted my BGS 10 Sport Kings big patch. It's a jumbo patch Canseco, 1 of 1, and it's a beautiful card. I'm not really a huge Sport Kings fan, but as far as Sport Kings cards go, that was a good one here. And so anyway, he wanted that card along with some others, and he had some cards that I really wanted. Two super collectors doing a deal. Whenever you do a deal, it's going to be a pretty big moment for both of them. So this is kind of a cool thing. And as I said on one of my last videos, that they had actually delivered this on Saturday. So I wasn't here because I was either garage sailing with my wife or at the library with my wife and son, and I didn't realize they were going to need a signature for it, which, it makes sense. I'm glad they did, because they're, being safe that way and everything. And so completely understandable. But I was bummed because this package was going to be in the post office possession for the weekend, and I really didn't want that to happen. So that's okay though. I have it here, and we had a youth group thing here with a bunch of loud middle school boys during lunch and beyond, and so I was kind of really nervous about missing the postal worker again. So I'm glad that I was able to get this here. So let's see why this isn't opening. I don't want anybody's address to show here, so I'll just kind of slice this off camera here real quick. Looks like this is the last deal to open. This is one thing about Aaron, is that he is very thorough as far as taping boxes go. So here we go, and I appreciate that because I've had so many issues in the past. So here they are, and I will walk through every single one of them. I'll see if I can do them from, well, I'll just go ahead and go through all of them here real quick. Anyway, so I gave up the BGS10 1-of-1 Sport Kings, as well as a 2016 Flawless Emerald out of 5. And let's see, where's this? I also had to put some cash in the deal, and I had to give up a 2014 Topps High-Tech Cloud Diffractor number out of 25 autograph, which was pretty great because I was able to recoup that one the next day. So that was awesome. I'm going to go ahead and go with the easier ones here first. So up first is this right here. It's a Pacific Timelines card, and this actually has a star punched out through it. So I don't know if you can see this. The normal one does not have a star punched out. So Pacific was notorious for doing things like this at card shows. Like, you can only get this kind of a thing at card shows. So that's kind of a neat thing there, just a little variation, because they probably made, you know, thousands and thousands of these, but there might only be a few of these with the star punch version on it. So not a big card, but it's a neat little little variation to add to my collection here. This card here is it's like a redemption type of card. So what happened, if I remember correctly, I believe what was it, Mo Vaughn? I'm trying to think as I'm telling the story here, but they would actually create redemption cards in the packs, so that way you could send these out to Upper Deck and you would get the card. So I remember, I believe Mo Vaughn could be redeemed if you found a Canseco or a Glavin for some reason, because I think that Canseco and Glavin were more rare or something. So the normal card would show a piece of jersey here. And so, but with this particular card, inside of a pack, what would happen is there would be a blank area here, just like there is now. There's no jersey piece right here. And there would be a sticker over this. And it would say, hey, send this in and redeem it for, the jersey card or whatever. So kind of a neat thing. Now, the interesting thing about this is that you could see that they punched a hole. And a lot of times what Upper Deck and other companies would do is they would punch a hole and say, okay, this has been redeemed, throw it by the wayside. So we don't need this anymore. That's all. It's game over. It's trash. Well, guess what? We player collectors love this stuff. We love these cards a lot more than the regular cards. And you know why? Because these are significantly rarer because everybody threw them out. They were meant to be thrown out. There's another version out here, of course, where it still has the sticker and it's not punched because that means that it was never redeemed. So that's another nice variation I'd love to get my hands on, but I'm not sure why I like it more. If I like this one or that one more, I think probably about the same, but very, very, very cool piece to have as far as being a player collector goes. So I tried to find the regular version of this and some other variations I had. But I couldn't find the base one. What I could find is my gold, number to 33. So that's what that looks like. So I believe that this was probably a redemption card for this, for the gold version, which is numbered out 33. So you'll see kind of the difference here. Well, and one of the other things I wanted to show as well is this is a custom creation of mine, because they didn't really do a patch version of this. So what I did was I did the patch version myself. Here's the gold, and here's my patch version. So it's his real autograph, because it's the real card. But on the back, you take a look and you'll see it says player worn patch, because this patch was actually used, or it was actually worn by Jose whenever I was at his house. It was from a Tampa Bay Devil Rays jersey. It's a beautiful looking patch. So this has all the information. This is a picture of Jose actually wearing the jersey that the patch on the front's from. This is a picture of the card before I modified it. And so it says at the bottom, 1 of 1 custom. So it's kind of a neat thing. I really like the different variations. So here they all are together. So no jersey redemption punched, gold version with the jersey, and then custom patch card. And again, like I said, I have the regular version, but I've really got to place in order my jersey and autograph cards better. So anyway, so that's the second card right there. The third one is this. It's a 1990 Donruss card. Now, by itself, you're probably thinking, yeah, what's the big deal, Tanner? It's just a 90 Donruss card. There's a couple million of them out there. Well, the difference with this is it's graded by Beckett, for one thing, and it says it's a blank back. There is no back to this, and this is kind of a big deal for collectors as well, because especially when it comes to Donruss, is because Donruss you never see blank backs. With Topps, you see it every now and then. I mean, I've got several Topps blank backs. They have, there's probably one for every couple 100,000 regular cards as far as the blank backs go for Topps. This, and I talked to actually Aaron, the guy that I got this from. He told me that he had never seen more than one of one player. So in other words, if it was Canseco or if it was Griffey or McGuire or anybody, he had only seen one blank back of that person ever. So this might be the only Canseco out there. Maybe there's 2 more, maybe there's 10 more, who knows. It's a 26-year-old card now, and I've never seen one before, so who knows if another one's going to pop up. But again, one of those things I just really like. I love having the obscure things that nobody else has, and so that fits the bill real nicely. And let's see here. Let's go for this next one. This is I believe it's from 2003 or 2004, one of the two. It's the Recollection Collection, or some people will call it the Recollection Collection. It's of a 1986 Donruss, The Rookies, Jose Canseco. So this is a very hard to find card. I've never seen one for sale, and it's a really neat card, because this is early on in the buyback, in the history of buybacks, and it's his rookie. So it's kind of a neat thing there. This it's also stamped on the back, numbered to 24. This card itself is 30 years old this year, and the fact that it's a buyback, it just makes it really, really slick. I mean, you hardly ever come across these. So I'm very happy to pick this one up. Everybody loves the recollections and the buybacks and all that. So the problem is when guys run across these, it's very hard to be able to make a deal for some of them, because you're not just running into other player collectors. You're running into collectors into buyback collectors and star collectors, team collectors, and all that. So it's kind of neat to be able to have something like this as well. This is a big deal as far as card goes for a collection. So I mean, the other 23, I mean, there may not be another one that shows up for 10 years, 20 years, but then again, there might be one that shows up tonight. You just never know. I'll go for this one here. Okay, this is a 2016 Topps Museum Sepia. Now this is a card that had eluded me for some reason. I don't know why, but a couple times it popped up. I just wasn't around, and they were sold quickly. They were picked up quickly by other collectors. Once or twice they came online and I couldn't see it, so I don't know why, but it just wouldn't show up in my search or my history or anything. Like even to this day, if I looked up the sold items, like this card, I'm not sure if it's this specific one, but one of the three that's already sold, one of the 3 or 4 that's already sold, I literally cannot see it at all. I don't know why, but sometimes that happens with eBay, I guess. So anyway, I know where 2 of the others are. There's 1 or 2 others out there that's to be claimed that I know of. Maybe they're all locked up already, but I didn't know if I was going to be able to get this or not. So I'm very happy to get this. This completes my run of 2016 Museum. I have the regular, the gold, and now the sepia. I'm a big sucker for the sepia, so I don't know why. I love how they look. And here is Sweet Spot, Sweet Sticks Signatures. Now, this card is numbered to 35. I've only seen one other sold, or for sale before, and it was like chipped horribly on one of the corners, so I passed on it. And that was like 2 years ago, I think. I haven't seen any others at all. And man, that's a beautiful card. I really like that. The signature is perfect, and just everything about it is great. Let's see if I can show that there. That's cool. Very cool. Last but not least is a card that made this deal happen, because we were going back and forth for a couple days on this, and it's kind of funny. I was thinking that this deal wasn't really going to be done with these cards for what was on the table. And I remember the next night I was actually looking on eBay, and I just missed this one card. It was a buyback. It was a Topps 2016 Archive Signature Series buyback. It just sold like probably a minute or 2 before I checked. I mean, I totally would have snapped this card up, buy it now, quick, just like that. But I knew who got it. And I said, all right, Aaron, I know you got this. Let's try to do a deal. We went back and forth for 2 or 3 hours, and we finally struck a deal which included this card. And this is I'm not sure if it's my favorite one out of all of them, but maybe. It's a 2016 Topps Archive Signature Series 1 of 1 Bazooka One-Liners autograph card with the bat piece. This is the only Archives buyback that I've seen with a bat piece or any type of memorabilia piece of Canseco. I don't know if there's going to be others, but for right now, this is the only one that I know that's in existence. I would not put it past them having others out there, but for right now, this is the only one. And man, this is one of my favorite early 2000s relic cards of Jose. It really is. I love that it's a Rangers card, and the colors. I love that's bazooka. I also like his little quote here. It's when the ball bounced off his head. He said, "I thought I had it. I was twisting around like this. It grazed my glove, hit me on the head, and bounced over. I'll be on ESPN for about a month." Well, it was close. He was actually going to be on ESPN for the rest of his life for that, unfortunately. So, a little funny piece of history. It's for better or for worse. It is a piece of his history in his playing career, and nice signature, excellent as bat piece, fantastic design. You got the 1 of 1 here. This made the whole deal completely worth it for me. And on top of that, I never get to get this many epic cards in my collection at one time, so it had to be a deal with the super collector to be able to do this. So here they are again. These 4 right here, when I say are the main ones, right here. So that's those are the ones I just absolutely love. I'm so happy I was able to add those in my collection. And then of course you have these, which are absolutely no slouches whatsoever. These are mega rare cards. anytime I can add super rare prototype one of one type cards, I mean, I'm happy. So it's 3 cards, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that's it. And I'm sorry guys for being so long-winded. It looks like we're about 25 minutes in right now, but it's a big deal. Oh, and obviously don't forget this here. This is major epic additions to my collection as well. So I'm very happy. It's funny because these cards, I mean, if they were mass produced, they would probably be like 50 cents or $1 each, but they're hugely valuable, especially to me, because I might be the only one that has them. And so once again, thank you for watching and sticking with me if you're still awake, and keep your eyes peeled on my channel because I'm sure I'll have other videos very soon. I'm actually waiting on another pretty epic card coming up, so I'll post that up later. And remember, my website address is tanmanbaseballfan.com, and YouTube is youtube.com/tanmanbaseballfan. Oh, and by the way, feel free to give me a shout out on Twitter at tanmanbbfan. Thanks. We'll talk to you soon.